Hello and welcome back to ABAP programming course by amarman.com. In this video, we will understand SAP ABAP course content in detail, and we will also understand what is RICEF objects in SAP ABAP. So let's start with the video. Very first thing is that we will understand in detail what is the ABAP course content. Right now, here we will mention, or I will mention, all the topics that we are going to cover throughout this course. So some of the topics we have already discussed, and we will list over here all the topics that we are going to cover in this ABAP course. So we start with introduction to SAP and overview of ERP. We have already completed this topic. Then we have discussed about historical overview of SAP. And we have also discussed SAP ERP architecture models, which includes single tier, two tier, and three tier architecture. Okay, so that we have already discussed. And then next we have discussed about modules in SAP. And we have also discussed about the role of SAP consultants. Okay, so this is kind of the introduction to SAP and ABAP course in short. Post this, we will discuss about ABAP. So our focus will be primarily on the ABAP subject. And over here, we will start with basics of ABAP programming. Basics of ABAP programming. And what do we have in basics of ABAP programming? Basically, the basic statements of ABAP related to declaring the keywords or giving the right statements, etc., etc. So we will discuss about the basics of ABAP. Then the next topic is structures and internal tables. Post this, we will discuss about data dictionary. Then another major topic is modelization techniques in ABAP. Then we will discuss about reports in ABAP. There are three types of reports. So we have classical report, interactive report, and ALVs. So these are the three types of reports we will discuss over here. Post that, we will discuss about module pool programming. The next topic is module pool programming. Then we will discuss BDC, which also stands for batch data communication. And when discussing with BDC, before discussing with BDC, we will also discuss about file handling techniques in ABAP. After BDC, we will discuss forms in ABAP, SAP Smart Forms. Then we will discuss about OOPS or object-oriented ABAP, and another topic related to OOPS is OOPS ALV. This will be introduction to object-oriented ABAP concepts. Then we will discuss about interfaces, and under interfaces we have, for example, BAPIs and ALEI docs. These are the two topics that we will discuss under interfaces. After interfaces, we will discuss about a very important topic in ABAP called as enhancements. There are various techniques of enhancements. Among this, we will discuss user exits, customer exits, and baddies. And then we will also discuss about the new enhancement framework. And throughout the course, obviously, we will discuss about ABAP debugging concepts. And finally, we will discuss about some real-time scenarios. And process flow of SD and MM module. Now let's discuss about RICEF objects in ABAP. ABAP RICEF object stands for reports, interfaces, conversion, enhancements, and forms. So let's see what RICEF object stands for. So here R stands for reports. I stands for interfaces. C stands for conversions. E stands for enhancements. And F stands for forms. All right, so this is what RICEF object stands for. In reports, we have classical reports, classical report, then interactive report, and then we have ALBs and also object-oriented ALB. So these are the various reporting techniques in ABAP. Then in interfaces, we mostly deal with cross applications, including RFCs, BAP, and ALE IDOCs. Conversions, in conversions, we have the technique of BDC. BDC stands for batch data communication. Enhancements, we have various enhancement techniques there, like we have baddies, customer exits, and enhancement framework. In forms, we have three types of forms in ABAP, but SAP script is almost obsolete. We have SAP script, then we have SAP smart forms, which is most commonly used, and then we have SAP Adobe Forms. So RICEF objects are basically the ABAP development objects. RICEF objects are the ABAP development objects developed by ABAP consultants. I have changed the theme of these PPTs to blue. So it is expected that ABAP consultants are good at developing RICEF objects. Let's now discuss about reports. So reports basically is like in ABAP reports, based on user input, application data is retrieved from the database and displayed in a required format. So it's a very common requirement to create reports in ABAP. And how many types of reports are there? So basically there are three types of reports. So we have classical report, interactive report, and ALVs. There is also another flavor of ALV called as object oriented ALV. So these are the three major types of reports there. Now let us try to understand this report with the help of a illustration. So for example, we have applications. So let's say we have SD application, and then for example we have application, and then let's say FI application. So we have SD, and let's say FI. So these applications, obviously they generate data, and this data will be stored in the database table. So for example, we have the database, and whatever data is generated by the applications, they will be stored in the database table. So something like this. Now, what does the report do is, reports are programs. They retrieve the data from the database and then displays the data in a required format. All right. Next, what is an interface? Interface programs are to exchange data between SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP systems. So the primary work of interface programs is to exchange data between the systems. Now, interface could be an inbound interface. So we can have inbound interface, that is, data is received from external system to the SAP system. And we can have outbound interface, which is data is sent from SAP system to external system. Now, if we try to understand the concept of interface, then in an interface, let's say we have the SAP system and non-SAP system, and we exchange the data between SAP and non-SAP system. Or the data is exchanged between two SAP systems. So there will be exchange of data between the systems. Now, the exchange of data between the systems is generally happening through some file. So a file is created and data is transferred into the file, and then this file is moved from SAP to non-SAP or SAP to SAP system, and even vice versa. Next, let's discuss about conversion programs. So RICF, C stands for conversion. Now, conversion programs are to transfers data from legacy system to SAP system. Generally, after an implementation, the existing data in legacy system is moved to SAP system with the help of programs known as conversion programs. Now, the two techniques with which we can achieve conversions are BDC, stands for batch data communication, and LSMW. So this is what conversion programs are. For example, let's say we have the legacy system, and we would like to move the data to the SAP system. And we would like to move the data from legacy system to SAP system. And again, this movement happens via file. So data is first moved or transferred into a file, and this file data is then uploaded into the SAP system. So that is conversion, and that happens via conversion programs. Next, we will discuss about enhancements. As we know that SAP provides a number of pre-built applications known as standard applications. Now, if there is a requirement to change the functionality of the standard application or extend the functionality of the standard application, then we will have to go for enhancements. So what is enhancement? With enhancements, we extend the functionality or change the functionality of standard SAP system. SAP has given a lot of techniques for enhancement over time. And these are customer exits, baddies, and enhancement framework, new enhancement framework. Next, let us discuss about forms, the last object in the RICEF concept, RICEF. So F stands for forms. Before we do that, there's a spelling mistake here. So let me change that to conversion. Now this is good. So we will discuss about forms. Now what are forms? So forms are tools for layout design and display data in a specified format to create legal as well as business documents whose physical, that is print format, or PDF formats are required. In business, we do have requirements in which we have to create business documents in the sense like invoice, bill, delivery notes, purchase order, etc., etc. So we have to design these business documents, and for that SAP has given us various tools which are known as forms, and these business documents might have to be printed or sent to the customers in a PDF format, and they also fulfill both legal as well as business requirements. So examples of forms could be like invoice, bill, delivery note, purchase orders, and so on. Fine. And the tools to create forms in SAP are, so SAP has given us some tools with which we can design the layout of these business documents. So these are SAP scripts, smart forms, and Adobe Forms. So in this video, we have learned about the course content of SAP, and as well as we have discussed in detail about the meaning of RICEF objects and what all these terms RICEF stands for. So that's all in this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon.